The volleyball team has won 2 matches in a row, and the men's swimming and diving team beat Niagara this past weekend. All this and much more coming up next here on the Penguin Rundown. Welcome into the Penguin Rundown, everyone. Richie Giuliano back with you here this week. Well, there weren't many teams that played this past weekend for the Youngstown State Athletic Department, but when they did, 2 out of the 3 of them got victories. And we're going to start with our women's volleyball team, who returned to their home floor last Friday to start a 4-match homestand to end the 2021 regular season. The Penguins took on the Robert Morris Colonials and put together one of their best matches of the season. The Penguins took down Robert Morris by a final score of 3-1. Youngstown State freshman standout Paula Gershing led the way with a career-high 27 total kills while hitting .431 in the match. Gershing was electric on both sides, contributing 3 block assists and adding 14 digs. Although Gershing put on a show, there were other Penguins who contributed to the victory. Amanda Lebioda kept her arm red hot this past weekend, swinging 25 times with 13 kills and hitting .360 in the match, while setter Josie Borum notched a double-double with 47 assists and 15 digs. The team has won 2 matches in a row and looks for a winning streak this weekend. The Penguins play 3 matches in 3 days to finish their season. Starting tomorrow, they take on UIC, followed by Green Bay on Friday and Milwaukee on Saturday to end the season. Saturday night will be senior night inside the Beagley Center, where the team will honor Campfield native Morgan Cleveley and Ashley Starzik. All 3 matches will begin at 6 p.m. and they can be watched on ESPN+. Our Youngstown State football team took on North Dakota this past weekend, and John is live at Stambaugh Stadium for more.
Thanks, Richie. We're here live at Stambaugh Stadium to recap this past weekend's game against North Dakota. We had some key players in this matchup as well, and YSU had a 21-10 lead with 10 minutes left in the quarter, where North Dakota scored 14 unanswered points to win that game by 3. As I said before, there were some key players for the YSU Penguins. Jaleel McLaughlin had 122 yards and 18 carries and 1 touchdown. Christian Turner had 7 carries, 29 yards, and 1 touchdown. And Dimitri Crenshaw had 18 carries, 60 yards, and 1 touchdown, totaling 203 total rushing yards on the ground. We were very good at running the ball. Now, next week, we take on North Dakota State, which they are ranked number 1 in the conference and 8-1 overall, at YSU's final home game at noon. We'll see you then at Stambaugh Stadium.
Thank you, John. Well, our basketball season is finally underway as the men's and women's teams will both play their first games on the road this week. But before they traveled on the road, the crew caught up with players and coaches to talk about the team and their upcoming season.
Yeah, we have, I think, 9 or 10 new players, so it's definitely, everyone's getting adjusted to, how we kind of do things. But I think all the new girls have really just been able to learn quickly, and we've all been getting along so well, and I think we're really going to be successful this season. I think we have a lot of very good shooters, so it's kind of hard to, when you get into the post, you have to guard the perimeter too, so that makes it really hard because we have good shooters and also really good posts, so it makes it kind of hard to guard both. I'm really excited. I think we're definitely going to be ready. We've, had 2 scrimmages, have done really well, and we're definitely going to prepare well for Eastern Michigan.
I think we are just we have a lot of energy every day, and I think we all are just wanting to win. And of course, our three-pointer, we have a bunch of three-point shooters that are really great at shooting, and our post players are good. And I think all around we're just very competitive, and we each want to win at the end of the day, and we're all team players, and I think that's a big thing that is going to help us win games this year. Had a lot of team bonding over the preseason, and it was just an instant click. The first time we hung out, we were all just best friends, and it's just, I don't really know what the secret is, but we all Coach Barnes just must recruit girls that he knows are going to work well together.
I think we're a lot deeper, and I think we'll have, way more balanced scoring, which is harder to guard. We'll definitely be better defensively, which was our kind of our part last year that we didn't really do very well, I guess you would say. Ultimately, though, with a lot of newcomers, we were able to come in midsummer, spent the rest of the summer together, did a lot of team bonding things. This is as close a group as I've had.
Chemistry wise, I don't think we've had a problem. I think this team in my time here has been like, I don't even know. Like, I don't know how we clicked like so well, but like just everybody just seems to click, and we understand each other. Really cool to see us all be able to come to practice, work hard and play for each other, and then go hang out off the court. I think Coach Calhoun has definitely done a good job of getting us to understand how important it is to win games at home because of how difficult it is to win games on the road. So for us, it's about capitalizing on those home games, really doing what we're supposed to do, and then taking care of business on the road.
Definitely, we shoot the ball much better. Where even when we don't hit shots, we're comfortable to let shots go. And honestly, I believe our chemistry, like we've said that, G and I spoke on that time and time again. When guys enjoy each other's company off the court and they get along off the court, that's going to translate onto the court. I'm excited. I'm really excited to play someone of that nature, a Big Ten school again. Also very confident. I'm not even speaking for myself, my team, our team. Like we're all extremely confident. We're all ready to go. Like we're feeling really good.
I certainly think we have some different type of lineups. We can play small, we can play big. You know, a lot of our freshmen last year got a lot of time as well. I do like our rotation. I think we'll play 9 or 10 guys, Wednesday night. We'll see how that rotation works out. And, you know, we may add or subtract from that. But, you know we got 3 starters back. And from there, I think it's kind of, a lot of anticipation to see how guys react in certain situations. We've done a lot of different things to try to bring this group together with so many new players. Took a team retreat for a couple days, paintballing, bowling, team meals. And I think those guys will tell you, I think it's the most connected our group has been heading into a season, which is good. You want that.
Well, it's great to hear from our men's and women's basketball teams before they prepare for their 2021 season. But now for an in-depth look of our men's basketball team, we send it over to our roundtable segment in the Beagley Center as Caleb and Cam have more.
Thank you very much. Here we are at Beagley Center. I'm Caleb. Joining me today is Cameron. Now, Cameron, when I talked to John last week at the round table, we were talking about the women's basketball team, but now we're changing courts to the men's basketball team. Looking at the record from last season, they finished overall 15-12 for a second consecutive season above 500, and they're looking to make it for the 3rd straight season, the first time that's happened since 1985. When you look at the preseason polls for the Horizon League, YSU was picked to finish in 7th place out of the 12 Horizon League teams. And I really just think that comes down to other programs not really knowing what's happening here at Youngstown State.
Yeah, being picked 7th for the preseason poll, it just really shows that they place them in the middle of the pack, and they want to show that they want to bring out that underdog mentality that they should have. Beating UIC last year in the postseason was a big step for them. And experience is a key factor as we have a lot of returning players this year.
Absolutely, bring up that experience. They start their season tonight at Penn State. And you look at the projected starters for tonight, and they have really good talent. We have seniors Garrett Covington and senior Michael Akuche. Looking to start, we have sophomore Shamar Ratan Mays. He's looking to make an impact. And we also have 2 transfer students coming to YSU, and they're looking to make an impact on the court as well. So what can you tell me about those players?
Yeah, Garrett Covington, a real defensive stud. Named to 3 straight Horizon League all-defensive teams and tied the school record with 7 steals in 1 game in his freshman year. Just a real guard presence that we need on defense. Michael Akuche set the Horizon League single-game record with 24 rebounds in a single game last year, while averaging 9.9 points and 8.3 rebounds, so a real double-double machine down in the paint. Shamar Ratan Mays, named to the Horizon League all-freshman team last year, averaging 10.4 points, so he's looking to build on that. The 2 transfers, Tevin Ollison, averaged 23 points per game last year at the University of Cumberland's. A stud on offense, led the team in points, assists, and steals, had a career high of 40 points, and also was an NAIA second-team All-American. And last, junior Dwayne Cohill from Dayton missed last year due to injury, but was named Dayton's top defender his freshman year, another guard with a defensive mind presence.
Wow, so obviously a lot of talent coming to the squad this season. I had a chance to talk to Garrett Covington earlier today, and he said that the team chemistry of what's happening right now, it's like nothing he's ever experienced before. The team chemistry is really bringing the squad together, and it's really going to help them on the court this season. Now, going back to last season again, they had a pretty good record at home, finishing 10-5, and I think when it comes to having fans at Beagley Center, that'll also help the game as well.
Finishing 10-5 at home, that's a big step for them. And also going 5-0 last season in the regular season non-conference play, that's something they can also build on too.
For sure, because you look at the schedule for this season, they have 9 non-conference games, so it's really tough on them, but I believe in our Penguins to do well this season.
I do too. And starting with their first game at Penn State, they just have to come out. The transfers look to need to provide the offense. The returning players have to provide defense, and just experience from inside and outside the program.
For sure, and that's all the time we have here today. You can buy tickets to YSU home games for the men's basketball team right now at ysusports.com. I've been Caleb Ellison.
I'm Cameron Stubbs.
Now it's time to send it back to Richie in the studio.
Thanks, guys. Well, it's going to be a real excitement tonight as Youngstown State will travel to Penn State to open their season. You could follow along at ysusports.com or watch it on the Big Ten Network. Well, let's move over to baseball as they announce their full 2021-2022 season. And for more, we send it to Kyle Wills, who is in the Watts.
Thanks, Rich. Last Thursday, YSU baseball head coach Dan Bernalini announced the schedule for this upcoming season as they're looking to replicate their success from a year ago after going 32-24. To highlight the first half of the schedule, they will be making trips to Big Ten opponents in Penn State, Michigan State, and Ohio State before having their first home game April 6th against Pitt. Now, this home game against Pitt will be the start of a series of Conference League games for the squad as they're looking to replicate their success after going 24-16 in conference play. Some of the success can be seen a year ago where they took 3 out of 4 against Wright State at Eastwood Field. Also, to highlight the second half of the season, they will be traveling to Kent State and Michigan. Good luck to the baseball team on the upcoming schedule, and let's send it back to Richie in the studio.
Thank you, Kyle. As we mentioned before, the men's swimming and diving team had a very successful weekend at the Beagley Natatorium, defeating Niagara University by a final score of 195-95. Unfortunately, the women's team fell short against Niagara and St. Francis University. From the men's swim and dive team, it was a great performance as 8 Penguins finished in first place. Sophomore Cody Till continued his diving dominance, taking first place in the 1 and 3 meter dives. Swimmers who won in multiple events included Gavin Redden in the 50 and 100 yard freestyle, Gavin Webb in the 500 and 1,000 yard freestyle, and Dominic Bono in the 200 yard backstroke and 400 yard IM. Top finishes from the women's team last weekend include junior Aubrey Whitaker, who finished second in the 200 yard freestyle with a time of 1 minute and 57.23 seconds, and freshman Haley Clark, who placed third in both the 500 yard and 1,000 yard freestyle. The Penguins will have a long break, but will compete again at the Miami Invitational starting on December 2nd. And now it's time for our Penguin Play of the Week. We send it over to Katie Rogers-Vidala, who has more.
Thanks, Richie. This week, the crew and I picked Paula Gershing from the women's volleyball team as this week's Player of the Week based on her remarkable performance against Robert Morris University last week. But her contribution all season is what led to her breaking 2 school records in this match. As a freshman, she has 371 kills. She leads the Horizon League. She basically tops all categories. But when I watch her play, what I love the most is that she is such a strong and accurate hitter. Being recruited from Germany, she has definitely proved to this team that she can be that #1 hitter and to really help their offense. She's also very versatile. She has the most aces on the team. She has over 200 blocks. She is a great 200 great digs, and she is a great blocker in the front row. Overall, Paula Gershing is just a great all-around player that you would want playing for your team. Congratulations to Paula for breaking more school records, and good luck to the rest of the women's volleyball team as they finish out their season. Richie?
Well, thank you, Katie. That'll wrap it up here for this week's episode of the Penguin Rundown. For news, highlights, and more in Youngstown State Athletics, you can follow along on YSUSports.com, and be sure to follow us on social media, as you see at the bottom of the screen, at Penguin Rundown 1 on Instagram and Twitter. For our entire crew here in Bliss Hall, I'm Richie Giuliano saying so long. We'll see you next week, Penguin Nation.